Hello and welcome again to Chances Are, and thank you everyone for joining us for our epic face reveal last time.
And for making it this far.
I'm just as surprised as you are seeing myself, on screen. It's usually just me outside looking in, but it was nice, and we're glad you were with us. So today, we have a rather interesting topic. I wouldn't say it's as spicy, but we could make it spicy if we wanted to.
So because we went like super hot last time around, you want to just bring things down for us to a simmer.
Just a little bit,
bit.
Just maybe somehow dial it down, but not too much.
Not too much.
Just make things a bit more interesting,
Still very relatable though, wouldn't you say?
Oh, very relatable.
Spicy?
Could be. Let's see how this goes.
All right.
Okay, so would you like to introduce our topic for today?
Which is?
The fear of missing out.
Quite interesting.
It is, because it's something that... It's usually something you don't really think about.
No,
a lot.
It's something that you feel as it's happening. I feel,
or after.
or after.
Usually after.
Yeah, but usually, like in my own personal experience, I would feel it when somebody tells me that something's already happening. Like my friends could be going out already, maybe a couple of years back. They could be going out already, and I'd be like, "Bro, you didn't tell me about it." And then they'll just straight up say, "I'm sorry, man. It was a spur of the moment." Those things.
That's actually pretty good, because there's some semblance of remorse, or like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you." But there are times when friends are gonna be all, "Carlos, you should have hung out, man." Hung out for what? You didn't tell me anything. How could I hang out if I have no idea something's happening?
You at least gotta give that notification.
And that happened a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's because I gave off this aura of not fun to being too serious.
What?
I think I'm too serious.
No, man.
Do you think so?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you have that resting, whatever face.
Bastard face.
Well, yeah, no. I don't think you give off that vibe. It's just that some people tend to forget, and on the other side of those, on the other side of that forgetfulness, somebody may feel bad for not being informed, for not being part of the group. They sort of feel like they aren't in the loop of things.
Yeah, they feel left out.
Hence the fear of missing out.
Yeah, but given the whole concept of this certain fear, this concern, this feeling that we have when we because here's what happens. It happens to you once. One time your friends hang out and then you realize, hey, I wasn't informed. It's kind of a crappy feeling. Now you tend to carry that feeling with you every time. Every time you feel something's gonna happen, you feel like you need to be there. You need to be a part of that certain thing happening.
I don't know, bro.
What do you think?
I'm going to take the opposite side of this and say, because I feel it. Because I feel that the fear of missing out is a little too overrated, in my personal opinion.
Okay, so you're basically invalidating my feelings.
Sort of, but not really. No, hear me out. It's for the sake of conversation, and for the sake of all our listeners out there, to get a feel for both sides.
I was about to cancel you.
Ooh, that's for another episode.
Okay.
Juicy. But hey, yeah. I say that the fear of missing out is a little too overrated because even though there's this saying, you only live once, experience as much as you can while you're living. A life that is not lived isn't worth it at all. We have all these sayings about trying to be in the moment, trying to be a part of something, but don't forget to remember your own mental health, your own personal space, because even if you may not be a part of a lot of these activities with your friends, with other groups of people, I would say that time spent working on yourself. No matter how boring you may think it is, time spent by yourself, working on yourself, making sure that you build yourself up to a point where your mental health is good, where you feel like you're in a safe space. That's not wasted life. It's not wasted moments. I feel like that is just as important as taking part in all these activities and all these movements and whatnot.
Activities like hanging out.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. It's a good thing you said that, because when you're thinking about working on yourself, we go back to the whole idea of being left out. We're sort of gonna go off tangent just a little bit. Still within the topic or the context.
Okay.
The feeling of being left out, or being left out in general, it sucks, right?
It does.
It sucks. So, why do you think this happens? Aside from the whole concept of your friends having too much fun and then just forgetting about you.
Ooh!
Right? Okay, so here's the thing. Sure, that's a valid concern. No, not a valid concern. A valid reason. We're having too much fun, man. We totally forgot to invite you. Why is that? Is it because maybe you weren't interesting enough? Maybe, you're not memorable?
I got a totally valid example for that.
Okay.
Story time, real quick.
Go ahead. This is what we're here
this
for.
This is going to be a little bit juicy, and you know this personally because you were there around that time.
I know this person?
Well, yeah, maybe like a few years ago, a couple years back, I was in a relationship.
You were? Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was in a bunch. And in one of these relationships...
Okay.
In one of these relationships a few years back...
All right.
I just didn't feel like myself. It came to a point where I didn't feel like I was doing enough to be the person who I really am. I wasn't being true to myself. I was giving up so much. And it's because I made the conscious effort to do so, but I didn't know where to draw the line. And along with that came the consequence of not being able to be with friends as much, giving up a lot of time as well with family. But in this particular instance, for the fear of missing out, let's mention friends, right?
Okay.
You were there, we would have work events, and then I'd have another group of friends, and they kept on inviting me, and I'd be like, man, I'm sorry, guys, I gotta do this, I gotta be with blah blah blah, I don't have enough time. It came to a point where eventually people just stopped inviting me, not because they didn't want to, but because they would always be under that perceived notion that I was unavailable because I was doing something for my relationship at the time, or I was just tired, that kind of thing.
It's more like everyone's already doing a roll call, and okay, who we're leaving out? Si Zach.
Exactly. Yeah.
Busy yun? Like,
he's probably busy.
Yeah, he's busy, getting busy. Yeah, that's...
I don't even think it was... Nope, not even.
Okay. But, alright, that's a good thing. That's I would say that was a mess you brought upon yourself. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
But
a lot of it, I would even dare say most of it was probably my fault anyway.
Yeah, but it's a good thing because times have changed and things are better. Now let's shift gears a little bit, because a while ago the example I was mentioning, as are most examples I mentioned, are from myself.
Okay.
So
that's fine. It's fine.
Let's take a look at Carlos from 2008 maybe 2009.
Okay.
Really young.
We didn't know each other.
Yeah, we
back
didn't.
then.
Yeah, you were a child at that time.
Not true.
Okay.
I was maybe in my teens.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah,
the age gap is just really, it's strange. Anyway, there was that, not a fear of missing out, but a fear or a concern of not being invited at all back then.
Would you say this came about because of overthinking? Because because of your be it self-esteem or whatnot, and then you're just like, no, they're probably not going to invite me.
Not really overthinking. It was more out of experience and routine.
Okay.
Because everyone would want to go out. There would always be one or two people that they'd mention, Oy, tawagin mo si ano, like bring blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you know those awkward moments in movies and sitcoms where you'd be like, hey guys, where are you going?
Oh yeah, like the little brother. Yeah.
Diyan lang. Sama ako. Yeah. Of course, we were all working at the time, so they'd be like, sure, go. Kumbaga. So it would happen. Now that sort of got me thinking. Now this is based completely on my own experiences.
Right.
It may be different for anyone listening right now, different from you guys, so take it with a grain of salt. That sort of got me thinking about myself. Am I just too bland? Am I just too boring? Do I seem like someone who does not want to have fun? Even worse, do I look like I'm anti-fun? Diba? That made me think a lot about myself. And in a way, that sort of helped me be more self-aware or just be a bit more outgoing towards people. Because, truth be told, I just always really quiet. I don't know. It could have been some traumatic incident in my childhood that involved spiders and bubblegum. But
what
it could also be something else. And given I had that kind of mindset, I was able to sort of improve the way I talk to people. Because if you had met me in 2008 or 2009, when you were still a child, you would not have thought, hey, this is a guy I'd like to hang out with. No, you'd be like, oh, okay, he's strange. I should leave. That's probably how you would have felt. Because I just really felt so awkward, so anxious around people.
Yeah.
That I probably gave off that vibe that I just don't want to hang out. So when I would ask, could I hang out? They'd be surprised. And they wouldn't know how to react because you've just been so strange and on the wall for the longest time, and suddenly you want to, maybe you want to murder us or something. I get that. So in a way, maybe not overthinking, but thinking about the situation, about that fear of being missed out, there could be some benefits, a little bit. It could help you do some self-reflection.
Okay.
Could help you work on a few things that need to be worked on.
Okay.
It's not a whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. It's more, I'm probably lacking a few things. Maybe I need to get them. Like in my case, a bit more confidence, a bit more being articulate, a bit more being outgoing. Because I was none of that back then. I wouldn't be someone who's aloof and wouldn't talk to people, but I didn't really engage. I wasn't the type of person, unlike now, who'd be like, oh, Mr. How are you? What are you doing? What's that you're eating? You look weird today. But I'm the kind of person who does that, right? You know me. When I see you, oh, Zach, you have glasses today. That's strange.
You give me like totally kamundahan lines.
Oh, no. That's for another episode. But see, there's a totally different person back in 2009 that I would not want anyone to meet. Because right now, how I've been able to reflect through the years, it took a long time, man.
That's how times go. You know, you eventually find out certain things about yourself. And for the benefit of people who related to Carlos's story about him thinking about all these different things, let's look at things from the point of view of that particular group.
Okay, yeah.
As we can do so now, because now we're more, I guess
we can say older.
Outgoing.
I think the general statement that no one can argue with is that we are older.
Well,
and we've experienced more things.
But along with that comes better communication.
Yeah, better social skills.
Yeah, and us being the people who we are now, and for everyone else who could relate to Carl's story, maybe you'll come across people like this too.
Yeah.
Who eventually will reach out to you, or every now and then they'd reach out to you and just check up on you and be like, hey, what you doing, bro? Yeah, we're doing this. We're doing this for work, or we might be hanging out later. Feel free to join. And usually,
I'm too busy playing Counter-Strike.
Usually if you'd give like a reason for not being able to come along, that's fine. Yeah. I'll just be like, yeah, okay, sure, no problem. But just in case you feel like it. And then eventually, it reaches a point where the invites get less and less because the rejection to join becomes more frequent.
Yeah.
And along with that, the people who initially invited you in the first place, when you say something like, hey, you know what? I'm free to go. Can I join you guys? Maybe at that point they could be a little taken aback. They could be a little bit shocked, but it's not...
Look at you, Mr. Busy, suddenly free.
Well, it's not... in our case, it's not so much as being ignorant. It's not so much as being upset or being like, oh, you didn't join us before. No, it's not like that at all for us now.
It's a shift in dynamics.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this dude finally wants to join us. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, sure. I guess we can add one more person to the group. Yeah, let's go. Tell me about yourself. Eventually you get to know people, and then you'll find out more things about each other. Who knows? You can even develop great friendships there. So
true.
Yeah,
that's how most things started. Also, in my case, so it's a good thing you brought that up, because that's exactly step 2 of the whole hanging out thing. You get to interact with more people. You get to see things from their perspective. Mm-hmm, you get to trust more people. Then you ask them about, back in the past, like awkward moments where you actually ask them. So back then, I was kind of awkward and everything. How did you feel about that? So when you already have that kind of trust, they would actually tell you. It was kind of weird, man, but I'm glad you hung out. So validation, and from there, everything just works. So it's a good thing. It's also important to surround yourself with people who are actually friendly. Legitimately friendly,
For everyone else out there who are the type of people to invite, and then you see a person who doesn't look as approachable.
Yeah.
There's always something called the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember being that exact person who people thought unapproachable.
Well, it's because, you've kind of mellowed down through the years, I will admit.
Mellowed down how?
But back... I think I've told you this before. I did. Back in 2013, you kind of looked like someone who beat people up.
Okay.
Like, at the drop of a hat. Yeah, dude. Like, oh, his name's Zach, and he has a really deep voice.
I don't know what it is.
He probably shouts at people when he steps on their faces.
I don't know what it is. True story. One of my best friends, whom I met during my first year of college. Mm-hmm. So, obviously first day of college, you stand up, you introduce yourselves, and so it was my turn, and I just do my usual spiel, like, hey, what's up? I'm Zach, you can call me Baby Z. That used to be my thing back then, right?
And I hurt people.
No, but my friend back then, I'll just name drop, Ro, one of my closest friends in the world, and back then, after that time, we didn't really hang out as much, and then eventually we, as classmates, as batchmates, we had lunch together, and then that became the start of us, being friends and everything. And he straight up told me, hey, Zach, when you introduced yourself in class, I thought you were going to beat me up, bro. I don't know what it was.
Straight up gangsta.
I don't know what it is. And then other people have told me, you looked suplado. We did not want to approach you.
Oh, man, that's different from like looking completely alpha,
It's
in the same domain, I guess. But the main point of everything is, as time goes by, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about the people around you, the more you sort of lessen that fear of missing out. Things just get so much better for your mind, because you're just totally chill now.
Right.
Like, people hang out, you see them, cool. And you're well aware that if you want to join in, these people are going to let you join, because these are people you trust. These are friends that you know, and basically everything's just hunky-dory at this point.
Right, and for the sake of conversation, I'm still sticking to my guns for this episode.
Okay.
About how the fear of missing out can and is truly overrated in today's modern day and age because, as you mentioned, everything comes along with time. Don't take it against anybody else. If they just want to spend some time alone, maybe they're just working on themselves. Maybe they just want to build up their mental health to a point where they're more comfortable being approached by other people or joining other people. And I think that's perfectly fine.
And as for me, well, I'm just going to say that this fear of missing out isn't necessarily a fear. It's more of a concern, something that you could use to reflect on yourself and possibly improve whatever you might find is in need of certain improvements. So at the end of the day, it could be beneficial, but like everything else in this world, in proper dosage.
True. And you guys can join in on the conversation. You can tell us your stories as well. Leave a comment on this video, like in the comment section, or you can message us. You can even comment on our social media pages. That's at Chances Are Pod on all accounts. Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
This is going to be available. On Spotify and YouTube. So by all means, if you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. You can join in on the conversation as well. Consider subscribing if you're new. And we look forward to seeing you.
Spoken like a real YouTuber, my dude. We
just want to give them options, bro. That's why we said like and dislike.
Yeah, and smash the like button. Smash it. Do not just like, smash it. We'll catch you again next time.
Let's get real. Talk truth. Talk truth. And let it all out. I'm Zach. I'm Carlos. We're speaking feelings on Chances Are on Republicast. Exclusively on FM1.